welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And I'm out here with my pressure washer and some soap, and I'm doing a moisturizing of the soil. I dug holes everywhere and it was dry down. Anything past 1 inch is dry. So this has soap in it. And soap is a wetting agent. It makes water wetter. So the water I'm putting on here with the soap will actually make the water much wetter, so the soil will have no choice but to absorb it. Now once I've got enough soap on the area, I'll continue with just water, because I don't want the soap to be in high concentration areas. I want it to spread out and break down. So I hope the noise isn't bothering you too badly. But this area was the worst of them, although the rest of the garden is in much better shape. I thought it was, until I started digging around a little bit. Then I found out I was mistaken. And I'm supposed to be Mr. Taken, not mistaken. All right, so I got my Dawn here. I had some Palmolive left over, and I started with the Palmolive and then went to the Dawn. But there's still some in the bottle of the Palmolive. So what I'm going to do right now is squirt a bunch of this water into that Palmolive, shake it up, add it to the container, and I'll go over this one more time to make sure I get a good soaking. Because I even noticed that this poor plant right here, even though I gave it plenty of water yesterday, it was dry down underneath, so it was starting to take a hit from the miniature heat wave we got going on here. It's a little on the warm side. It's going to be in the mid to upper 80s today, and fairly dry, so got to take care of things here. I'll get back to you. Okay, part 2. So I've given this a good wetting, and I've already gone back and started to spray the soil down in the holes that I made. And I got a couple still right here, but I want to explain, as some of you out there I don't think understand what hydrophobic soil actually means. Okay, now it looks here like this soil is well wetted, right? You see the humps and the dark colors, and looks like it's been well wetted. Well, watch what happens when I start washing this back down into there. See the dry? How dry it is underneath? And it just kind of floats on the water. You see it floating right on the water right there. And you can still see foam from the soap. Okay, so there's that one. Let's do this one. See the dry? See how the water just rides over the top of it? That's the problem. So adding manure and straw and stuff like that is not going to do anything. What I gotta do is what I'm doing here, and it takes a lot of water. Okay, it takes a lot of water. Because what I have to do is keep digging holes and fill the hole with water, because all these holes were already filled completely right to the top with water, and soapy water at that. Now I'm washing the soil that I dug out of the hole back into the hole, and it's dry. And once I get it washed back into the hole, I've broken it down to where it's not all dry and it has to soak up water. Okay, so that's the problem that I have here. Now, in actuality, the best way to solve this problem would be to remove all of this soil, trash it, just put it out in the desert and let the wind blow it around as it decides it wants to, because it's really no good for growing. If it won't hold moisture, you can't grow anything in it. So you look here, this is all that dry stuff I washed in there. You can see it's a lighter color. But now it's absorbing water. So I have to do that to every square inch of the soil in this garden, that box, that box, that box, and all of the new box that I put over there. Or I have to dig it all out, trash it, and put good soil in. Now, the way it's going, I've got rainwater here that I'm using to do this, but I'm going to use a lot. I've already used 2 full totes and 1/4 of a third tote. Okay, so that's what, 275 plus 275 is 550, and then there's another. Well, let's call it another 50 on top there. I'll call 600 gallons of water, and I haven't gotten this water or the ground to absorb water like it should. Now this tomato plant is coming back already today since I've started wetting the soil. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I went through everything here. I soaked it. I filled all the holes with water and then washed all the dry stuff down into the holes and let it soak all the way down. And then I went over and I did all of that section too. And now I'm back to this section, and I dug a hole, and look, it's dry. The water only got down maybe 3/4 of an inch into the top of the soil. So let's see if I dig another hole. I think I did right there already. So I did all this area, but let's reach over here and dig in here and look. Look at that. It's dry down there. So that's my problem. So now that you understand hydrophobic soil, you can see once it happens, it's pretty much a fight against Mother Nature to bring it back. So unless I get a couple of good rainstorms with a couple of inches of heavy rain to completely soak this garden, I doubt if I'm ever going to get it back to normal. So I'm just going to fill these 2 holes. And this is just so you know, this is what I have been doing. All right. There. That's what I've done pretty much through every square foot of this garden. I'm going to do this one too. All right. So, to understand it a little bit better, the hydrophobic condition of soil is basically like a cancer. Once it starts in part of your soil, it's going to spread to all of your soil. And I should have never thought I was going to get away with adding to the garden by using the old potted soil from the illegal growers that's been sitting in pots out in the hot sun for a couple of years and has completely dehydrated, so there was no moisture in it. And then it becomes what you're looking at here. It won't hold moisture. So it doesn't matter if I mix straw and hay and all of that stuff into this, because the soil itself won't absorb moisture. If I water and soak everything down after I put a mixture of something else in with this, only the mixture will get wet. This soil will reject all the water. So when I dig a hole after I've soaked the whole garden, or even after a good rainstorm, there's still going to be dry dirt all the way around that hole that I made and the additives that I put in there to wet it all down. So unfortunately, this is where I face reality and I say, not much I can do here. I'm just wasting water. Because the water, if it doesn't absorb into the soil, where does it go? Straight on down. It just keeps going straight on down. And the more that this cancer spreads into the soil that's down below it, the deeper it gets and the deeper it gets. And then if I dig it all out and replace it with fresh soil, in a year's time, I'll have the problem back again, because it is a cancer. It spreads through the soil and makes the soil unusable. So I've got a major problem here. I'm going to try to keep the plants that I've got going alive, and hopefully I get some food out of those. And then if we get a couple of good heavy rains, I'm going to hope for the best. Because if you could take out a barrel at a time of this. Put it in a plastic 35 or even a 50-gallon drum. If you put it all in there and then added water to it and filled it all up until it all completely absorbed that water, then you could take that out and put it back in the garden after you've taken out all the rest of the soil. So you could do a small barrel at a time like that, but it takes a lot of water. And water out here is something I don't have and I can't spare. Now I've got this rainwater, and I figure why not use it to try to get the plants that I've got growing to finish growing. So that's my situation, everybody. Sad as it is, my garden will not make it unless I figure out how to dig this all out of here, rehydrate it, and put all fresh soil back in and mix 75 to 80% new soil with only 20% of the rehydrated soil I have here. That should keep it going and kill the cancer, because the good soil will take over and the nutrients will get shared with the bad soil, but it won't break down the nutrients completely to where it won't grow anything. So on the way by, pretty soon I'll be able to take a pee in the garden. Got one there, I got one there, I got one here, I got one there, I got one there, and I think there was another one around here somewhere. Anyway, about 6 pea plants came up so far. And then over here, I did the same thing. I dug some holes. It was dry down underneath, and I filled them with water. And what did I get? Well, the plants are growing, so that's best I can do. So let's see, if I dug a hole right here, after this being soaked for a couple of days, look at that. It's dry. See? That is the problem. So now that you guys understand hydrophobia in soil, maybe it'll help some of you to don't ever try using dumped potting soil that you see in the deserts that somebody left behind because they were growing marijuana plants. They sucked all of the nutrients out of that soil. They sucked all of the moisture out of that soil, and then they leave it out in the sun to completely become non-absorbent. And this is what happens. Got another kale plant coming up right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 fresh kale plants coming up. And the weather's nice, and it's supposed to stay nice for a while, which of course is nice for these plants that are growing, but I sure like to see a whole week of rain. Just every day of rain. That might help me out and get me past this. And then I'll figure out what to do next year. I could take a lot of this out and bring in the sandy, silty soil that's desert soil and mix that in. But I don't think it's going to help. Let me shut my pump off while I'm at it here. I'm going to sneeze. Pussycat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, everybody. That's the end of this long saga. Thanks for watching. This is G Bear signing off.